speak public comment forum. To ensure civility, relevance, and time management, there are specific requirements for public comment set forth in school board policy. They include comments are limited to matters pertaining to public education. The speaker shall state his or her name at the beginning of his or her comment. Speaking time will be limited to 3 minutes per person. A 3-minute timer will appear on the TV screens in the bottom corner. The timer will beep when there are 30 seconds remaining. It will then beep a final time when your time is up. Thank you. For civility and decorum, no speaker shall make obscene remarks or issue personal attacks or insults. No complaint against a school employee or student shall be permitted, although this may be heard in closed session at a later date following consultation with the superintendent. Much information about individual students, including a speaker's own child, is confidential under state and federal law, and we discourage and often prohibit such information in open session. The chairperson may immediately terminate any comments that violate these rules. Board members will not respond to questions except occasionally to request clarification. With that introduction, our first speaker tonight is Mr. John Snipes.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is John Snipes, and I'm the proud parent of 2 students currently attending our public schools in Morehead City. One is a high school junior, the other is in the 8th grade and will be starting high school next year. I'm here tonight to share some concerns and observations regarding West Carteret High School and the ongoing funding issues facing our school. By the look of some of the faces I see behind me, I'm not the only one that is concerned. But first, let me thank you. As our board, I know that you are committed to meeting the challenges of our students, and I just want to say thank you for your ongoing efforts day in and day out on behalf of our students. I'm sure you're aware that over the past couple of years, the requested budget has not fully been funded, which has left a shortfall of resources at our school. We've lost the following critical core teaching positions: 2 English teachers, 2 math teachers, 1 social studies teacher, 1 science teacher. These are positions that have not been replaced. We also lost another math teacher in the midterm break this year. That is 3 math teachers at our school. This drastic reduction in teachers means a drastic reduction in opportunity for all students at West Carteret High School. In addition to the extreme loss of opportunities and classes for all levels of programs and academies within our school, it also places a higher burden and increased stress levels on the remaining teachers working hard to absorb those students. It increases class size to over a 20-to-1 ratio, I think, as we stand this year, thereby minimizing individual learning opportunities and time for students with those teachers. This lack of teachers also hurts the rigor and competitiveness for our students that are applying for college. And that also impacts the overall success of every student at every level of learning at our high school. With this continued underfunding of the operational budget, it feels similar to the death by 1,000 cuts. We are just watching systematically a decrease of our teachers and the opportunities that were once afforded at our school. Our schools are not getting better, but in offering more, we are suffering from teacher attrition and in turn providing less effective learning experiences for our entire student body. This trend is not sustainable. Last year, we were unable to offer advanced placement classes previously offered, such as AP Biology, AP Physics, AP Psychology, and Honors Creative. As I said before, this hurts everyone and prevents the proper disbursement of students across the spectrum of classes offered to meet their specific needs, whether AP or at risk. And as I understand it presently, we will be losing our federal grant money that has enabled us to staff several positions over the past few years. I believe these are ESSER positions, if I'm not mistaken. They include an interventionist for at-risk students, a technology teacher, a social studies teacher, as well as our staff nurse potentially. My question to you is, are these positions going away next year? Are we actively looking for additional federal funds to sustain these positions? Are our grant writers busy applying and making those requests? And can we vigorously pursue other federal money that we know is out there? In addition, what type of programs or funds are available to retain our quality teachers so they don't go elsewhere? And what are we doing to actively recruit new, highly qualified teachers to come join our West Carteret family? It is imperative that we proactively try to address these concerns and not just react to the situations as they arise. It is understood that student populations ebb and flow each year, and that impacts our student-to-teacher ratio. So our incoming freshman class this year, we're scheduled to receive a large class with 125 additional students compared to this year at our high school. Are we preparing to add more teachers to accommodate this influx? We cannot achieve optimum learning outcomes for any student if we're not willing to increase the number of teachers to handle this surge effectively. I'm excited to hear about the $22 million facilities project that has been awarded and will start soon. New facilities are incredible and provide a facility to learn and expand our educational opportunities. But it's $22 million to our facilities. I feel like some of those funds, not those funds, but I mean, are we able to identify other funds that can go towards these teacher recruitment and retention processes? I'm speaking tonight on a spirit of cooperation and partnership and advocacy. We want to know what we can do to help our students. At this time, we're specifically asking that the Carteret Public School Board and the Carteret County Board of Education please restore the positions that we've lost over the past 3 years at West Carteret High School and to fully fund existing programs and academies that may negatively impacted by continued lack of funding and prioritization. We need your best. Please tell us how we can better serve you to advocate for more funding so West Carteret can offer the abundance of opportunities for all students. Thank you.
Thank you. Ansley Jones.
Good evening.
Evening.
Thank you, school board members, parents, teachers, students, and others here in attendance tonight. Thank you for your time. My name is Ansley Jones. I'm a senior at West Carteret High School, and since kindergarten, I've been to 8 different schools. I've been to public, private, charter, and even homeschool in several U.S. states and Germany. So I've seen a ton of different educational situations from a student's perspective, and in my experience, the #1 factor in quality of education is not the amount of money a school has or what kind of technology it has available. It's the teachers. And lately, as Mr. Snipes mentioned, we've been losing teachers. These aren't elective positions. These are classes that every high schooler has to take, and I've even seen my classes get noticeably larger within the past several years. Unfortunately, the first, though not only certainly area at West to suffer from teacher loss has been gifted education. And this is at a time when statistically there are more students than ever at West who are taking AP classes. So the reason we're losing these classes is not because students don't want to take them. There are plenty of students who want to take them. It's because we just don't have the staff to teach them. But AP classes are essential for teacher well-being. Let me put it this way. No teacher wants to spend all day, every day, teaching the same subject to 30-plus kids. They're going to quit. They're going to find jobs elsewhere. I mean, just last week, one of my friends told me her teacher had gone to teach in Raleigh. So losing these teachers is also going to make it a likelihood that West will lose its Student Leadership Academy, and I think that would be a huge mistake. I think the West Carteret High School Student Leader Academy is a super successful program because there's a misguided notion that gifted kids will be successful no matter what and do fine on their own. Now, this is true in some cases, but especially for kids who don't have the financial resources to reach their full potential on their own, gifted education is super important. West Carteret's SLA helps push high school students to sign up for challenging classes and take on personal projects. It teaches them valuable lessons about time management, self-advocacy, leadership, and learning to fail. Parents are overwhelmingly in support of the program. I sent out like a questionnaire to all the SLA students and parents before coming to this board meeting to get like student and parent opinions, and there was not a single parent who didn't want to see SLA continue. Not only that, SLA has had a super great impact on our community. They've worked with countless organizations, nursing home residents, primary schoolers, wildlife shelter, Boys and Girls Club, and that's just a few. They've also improved our school by painting murals, cleaning up locker rooms, and planting gardens. And again, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just a few of the things that the students at West Carteret have done for our community. Of course, none of this is possible without more teachers. Carteret County teachers are the most important part of our school system, and I cannot stress this enough. If we want to have successful kids who are being taught to be impactful leaders, we need more teachers, and we need teachers who are excited about teaching. This isn't just about singling out a few smart kids. This is about providing more resources to every student at West Carteret and every student in Carteret County. And unless we want to lose kids, which has already been happening due to the decrease in quality of education that I personally have been observing at West, we're going to need more teachers. Not every student has the option to leave, and we really should be working to make sure kids are going to our public schools because they're the best option, not because they're the only option. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jones, I'd just like to tell you I'm proud of you for your conviction and your beliefs, and keep fighting for what you believe in.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sandy Howard.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Sandy Howard, and I'd like to take a moment to speak to the need for an increase in funding in our schools. I have two daughters at West Carteret. My oldest is a junior and is working hard to attend a competitive university. In order to stand out from other students, she needs to take as many advanced course offerings as possible. If West continues to face faculty cuts, she'll have fewer opportunities necessary to help her in this regard. As you know, the college admissions landscape has become challenging. My youngest daughter is a freshman at West, and like her older sister, is also in the SLA program. She's a very social kid, and this program has helped her hone her leadership skills. The SLA program has been a godsend for her after struggling through 2 very difficult COVID years. This program is helping her fulfill her full potential. Students in the SLA program develop leadership skills that make the school a better place. The ROTC program is the only other program at West Carteret that offers the same level of leadership opportunity. When you look at school organizations like YAG, Key Club, and Band, most of the officers and leaders of this group are in SLA. The SLA program fosters leadership development, which enables these kids to move into other organizations with leadership skills that make the entire institution better, and the faculty who administers it, they do an outstanding job. The SGA at West Carteret High School has 11 leadership positions. Of these 11 positions, 9 are held by SLA students. In the SLA program, there are 164 students out of 1,100 total students, 15% of the student body. The level of programming by this student body demonstrates the strength of the SLA program. This SGA has accomplished a senior sunrise, a homecoming dance, powder puff volleyball, implemented spirit points to increase school spirit, and many other programs. Increased funding for the faculty positions across the county will allow not only West Carteret, but all the other schools in the county to best serve the needs of their student body. Each high school provides unique opportunities for their student body. West Carteret should receive the necessary funds to keep the variety of programs it has so it can serve all of its students fully. Look, we realize that the board does not have its own taxing authority, and we believe that these, and we know y'all know these programs are important, so please tell us how we can help you secure the funding that you need to maintain these programs and programs like SLA. Thank you for your time.
Cameron Johnson.
Hello, members of the Carteret County School Board. My name is Cameron Johnson. I'm a senior at West Carteret High School in the Scholastic Leadership Academy, or SLA. Thank you for allowing me to come and speak here today. Last summer, I attended North Carolina Governor's School, an opportunity that puts this county's most academically gifted students on a statewide stage. At Governor's School, I was surrounded by the top students in the state. Naturally, there was academic competition throughout the summer. It was a surprise to me that we, Carteret County School students, don't have as many opportunities for advanced academic growth and learning as students in Wake, Mecklenburg, and Forsyth County. Simply put, the students at these schools are exposed to more opportunities. SLA provides the opportunity for students to compete with those in larger counties, and it allows SLA students at West to succeed or fail safely. One of the most common sayings in all respects of life is that failure is okay, and that we only learn from our failures. However, the process of grading and the GPA competition that follows in high school makes learning this lesson impossible. Failure for high school students does not mean a learning experience, it means dropping 5 class ranks. The SLA is different. As freshmen, Ms. Howell and Ms. Mayo put us in situations where failure is imminent. However, the Leaders in Training class that SLA students go through encourages and supports failure. Failure doesn't mean an F, it means a learning experience. SLA redefines the negative connotation surrounding the word failure to have the connotation of growth and learning. To have a program like this should be revered, and it should be upheld at all costs. Throughout the school year, I've had many leadership interactions with numerous SLA students through West Carteret High School Student Government, or SGA. I currently serve as the student body president. Many, as Mr. Howard previously pointed, many of the leadership positions are held by SLA students. However, this brings up the argument, wouldn't they already hold these positions? Many of these kids were already smart, academically gifted students. And yeah, you're right, they probably would. However, let's look at the quality of leadership. There's been about 12 events that we did in the first semester alone. All of these were events that were created and thought of by SLA students as leaders. These events were planned and executed in communication with school administration, myself, and other staff. This isn't the type of planning that you get from just your regular everyday students. However, a rising tide raises all ships. The leadership provided by SLA students has paved the way for non-SLA students to rise up and benefit from this surge in leadership. Because of SLA students, there are more opportunities for leadership, there are more programs to participate and help plan, and students, both SLA and not, are more than ever wanting AP classes at West Carteret. Since the inception of the SLA, the number of AP tests taken by West Carteret High School students has risen by 144%. In other words, while the SLA has huge benefits and impact for those who are in it, the benefits have ripples that affect and positively impact just as many kids. It should be of the most vital, utmost importance that we preserve programs such as the SLA. We need to provide opportunities for academically gifted students to turn heads at places like Governor School. No one from Carteret County wins on the AP scale. I don't have more AP classes than anyone at Governor School. I don't have more accolades than anyone at Governor School. But the programs that we can provide in Carteret County Public Schools provide me a way to turn heads and stand out on a scale that is just more than statewide. If the goal of this county is to produce students who are leaders, students who care about their community, and students who take initiative, if the goal of this county is to build up the type of people who will advocate for their communities and be successful in life, then the priorities and values of this board need to be aligned with the CCPS mission, inspiring, educating, and empowering students for life. Among other programs at West Carteret, the SLA inspires, educates, and empowers beyond what other programs at West Carteret that I've experienced. Let us know how we can help you keep these programs alive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Johnson, I would also like to say to you, I know it can't be easy for you or Ms. Jones as young adults to stand up here and speak from your heart, but I'm proud of you as well, and just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for coming up here tonight.
Thank you.
Beth Fickling.
Hello, I'm Beth Fickling, and I'm speaking tonight as a history teacher, a parent of a current West Carteret student, and a middle school student who soon will be a student at West Carteret. We have to find a way to increase funding for teacher positions at West Carteret High School, and I will use the social studies department to illustrate my point since I am a social studies teacher in Onslow County. Currently, there are 9 social studies teachers at West. This is a 22-to-1 ratio of students to teachers with a total enrollment of 593. Croatan High School has a total enrollment of 503 students in social studies courses and 8 teachers, putting the ratio also at 22-to-1. This seems even until you consider that West lost a permanent position last year when a teacher moved to Wake County. In order to meet the needs of the program, the county was able to secure an ESSERS grant to provide a 1-year position for a social studies instructor. When this position runs out at the end of the school year, West will have a greater discrepancy. West Carteret has 16% more students enrolled in social studies courses this year than Croatan, and that number is expected to increase. Therefore, in the vein of keeping everything equal between the schools, West Carteret should have a permanent social studies teacher added to their faculty. If we continue to lose funding at West Carteret, the administration will be forced to cram more students into mainstream classes and not provide higher level courses or developmental programs. This will hurt all students at West. Programs like Quest and Edgenuity that target at-risk students are already facing cuts due to ending of grant funding. Reaching our most vulnerable students is more difficult without adequate faculty and staff. Students are also facing limited AP offerings that will continue to decline if classroom teachers have to teach only required core courses. Academic electives have already faced cuts. Students trying to compete at the highest levels will not be on an equal footing with their peers at other schools in this county or across the state. West Carteret has reduced its AP offerings from 16 to 11 courses thus far and will continue to lose AP classes if teacher positions are not refilled. The SLA program would also be at risk. This program benefits many students at West Carteret and does an excellent job of preparing students for college admission and helping them develop leadership skills that they will use throughout their lives. Cutting the SLA program should not be an option. We should find the money to continue to fund the programs at West Carteret High School. West Carteret needs more options for their student body, whether that be Project Lead the Way, CTE, AP offerings, academic electives, or the SLA program. Students and faculty at West Carteret should not have to face the brunt of teacher attrition. If West Carteret loses more positions, more instructors will have to teach core classes instead of those additional courses. This will be a loss for the students and the faculty. Students will have fewer opportunities to pursue their educational goals, and faculty will have lower morale. This could potentially cause teacher dissatisfaction to increase and lead to even more knowledgeable, passionate teachers leaving the profession. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Sally King.
My name is Sally King, and I'm a junior at West Carteret High School. I come to discuss the conditions of West Carteret, as many others tonight have, and I'm speaking specifically on behalf of students like me. I've been a student in SLA and an AP student since my freshman year. As a 17-year-old, I, like many other students, have no idea what I want to do as a career. However, I know, thanks to the wonderful teachers and programs of West Carteret, I have options, and I have become a candidate for higher-ranking colleges through these courses. I've been able to narrow down my choices as well. I've learned through AP Government that I don't want to sit in the chairs where y'all sit and make decisions for a community. I've learned through AP US History that I share the interest in learning the history of my country, much like my grandfather, my father, and my great-grandmother. I've learned through SLA, among many things, that I could never have the patience to be a teacher strong enough to inspire a group of rowdy 14-year-olds to start caring about their futures and aspiring for excellence. Throughout my 3 years at West, I've realized that I've been set up for collegiate success not only through my own determination and work, but from the leaders who guided me and gave me the tools I needed when I had none. Before high school, I never saw myself as a leader. In fact, going into high school, my plans were to lay low and do the bare minimum to get myself into a decent college. I never would have seen myself where I am now, a team captain, a club president, and a leader of my own annual philanthropic project. It was through SLA and through the work ethic and self-discipline that I learned through these challenging classes that I was able to become the young leader that I never knew I could be. I realize that programs like these will be the first to go as we lose more teachers each year. Like Ansley, I've noticed my class sizes growing and many classrooms empty. So I ask you all to invest in and advocate for education because it is the most valuable investment you can make for the future of this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. King, I also want to tell you, the reason I sit here is because of the three of y'all. Are there West Carteret students over there? The three of y'all coming in here, that's why I sit right here. So thank you for coming in here. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sue Sure.
Hello, I'm Sue Shore, and I thank you for letting me speak tonight. At the School Choice Rally held in Raleigh during National School Choice Week, Senator Phil Berger defended the removal of an income cap on private school vouchers with this statement, quote, "If the public school is not educating that child, why should they get the money for it?" Unquote. He implies that the private school is doing a better job educating that child, no matter who that child is. But we know that is not true. For the last decade, Berger and his allies have stacked the deck to make private schools unaccountable. Unlike many other states, private schools participating in North Carolina's voucher programs need no accreditation or state approval, no regulated curriculum, no certified teachers, and no state testing. nor are they required to accept all students regardless of where they might fall on a spectrum of intelligence, learning styles and abilities, emotional needs, race, or religion. Parents have until March 1st to apply to an eligible private school. But what does eligible mean now? At the school choice rally, some were bragging that all you need is, quote, a fire and health inspection, unquote. The voucher budget makes clear how many new private, many for-profit schools advocates expect. For the school year 2031 to 32, the budget is set at an eye-popping $500 million, more than twice as much as budgeted for the coming 24-25 year. At the same time, as many have pointed out, the budget makes no future commitments to public schools. We do not have to accept this with our hands folded. Communities are rejecting vouchers. The country, Sweden, the state of Illinois, and more than 25 city and county school boards in North Carolina have passed resolutions objecting to this legislation. And nearly 20 other school districts have sent letters to lawmakers asking them to reconsider the legislation and warning of the consequences of stripping even more money from their schools. If, dear ones, you have not yet joined them, I request that you do, and that you encourage the North Carolina School Boards Association to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Michelle Lynch.
Thank you all for hearing all of our comments. And certainly, I'm sure budgets across our state are very constrained. And so this is one other area that we're asking you to consider budgeting for. My name is Michelle Lynch. I am a family medicine physician and more importantly, a Carteret County parent of a Croatan student. Specifically, this need that my understanding recently has come about with regards to our athletic trainers at our high schools, and I believe that problem exists also at the middle school level. Because I'm a Croatan parent, and that's the statistics I'm most familiar with, but I do presume that there's some likeness to what our sister schools at East and West are facing as well. But just to highlight the scope of the problem, and in that quad chart, I've touched on these points that I'd like to share with you. And I'm hoping this is not news to you, but maybe to really bring home the point that we're looking for some action to remedy this. Specifically in Croatan, we have about 400 up to 500 student athletes per year, and about half of the student body, obviously, as you, I'm sure, are familiar with those numbers. That includes at Croatan 28 different sports teams. I presume because we're kind of the average between our two sister schools, that those schools are not far off. The amount of students that seek assistance from athletic trainers depends on, as you can imagine, the type of sport. So something more contact, for instance, football, lacrosse, girls lacrosse in particular, as I'm more familiar with, because girls in lacrosse don't wear body armor or helmets. And so you can imagine more injuries occur there. But 50 to 60% of all contact sports is what the athletic trainer typically will take care of that team. And nearly 100% for football and girls lacrosse. Wrestling, also similar, 60+%. And for non-contact sports, you would think that number might be, significantly lower, and it's still in the upwards of 30%. So a third of that team is seeing the athletic trainer at some point during their athletic season. The benefits of a dedicated athletic trainer that is funded full-time allows for so many of those students that would otherwise have to seek care outside of school and therefore missing school and learning opportunities. It helps, the trainer teaches how students can recognize injury versus hurt and what they can play through and what they cannot. Concussion, joint injuries, skin infections are three of the major categories that our athletic trainers at Croatan in particular have sought care for. Minimizing risk of disease spread, huge importance certainly in a pandemic world. I'd like to bring to your attention, as time I know is ending here, the liability in healthcare. So certainly I think everyone would agree that's really an important thing to have. One of the things that I fear we are not fully compliant with at this time is the G. Feller-Waller Concussion Awareness Act that was passed in 2011 in the state of North Carolina that does require, particularly for return to play, an athletic trainer or a licensed, it can be a first responder or other licensed medical professional, to execute the return to play protocols. Coaches, my understanding of this law, would not be satisfying that legal requirement. The law aims to make sure that student athletes get the care that they need in that very critical time. The solution certainly is funding, obviously, making sure that we have a full-time dedicated asset for all of our high schools and even our middle schools, which I'm sure are suffering similarly and have injuries to the like. The options, certainly the first and most preferred, would be a full-time salaried employee of the school that allows for benefits. As you all know, our Eastern North Carolina region does not get the medical professionals or other professionals into our area unless there's a competitive salary that allows for retention of that person as well in those jobs, as many pointed out with our teachers that are dwindling as well. So certainly our preferred is a full-time school employee. Secondarily, which might meet some of this requirement, would be a contract with a sports or medicine or orthopedic group, and then, which would be unacceptable, thirdly, would be no dedicated asset at all, and I think we would absolutely be in non-compliance of state law, but also are conscious of making sure these kids get what they need as expeditiously as possible. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions if needed.
Thank you very much. All right, Nathan Chambers.
I am Nathan Chambers, and for full disclosure, I am running for school board, and I look forward to hopefully, being up here and serving with you guys in about a year from now. I was really appreciated these comments and learned a lot hearing from these parents when they talk about the additional funding needed and trying to retain these teachers, and I look forward to getting up there with you guys and try to work to find that funding so that we can retain these people. I know how hard it is with all the increased expenses with health care and benefits and things of that nature, and I know that the county commissioners are trying to work to sort some of those things out. But I know with diligence, we can figure out a way to do that. And I tell you, part of the reason is because of Ms. Jones and Mr. Johnson, Ms. King. I mean, that's very inspiring to hear young people come up here and talk about those things. So I do look forward to that. And I also would like to talk a little bit about the school calendar. I'd like to commend the board for making that change. I know it was, kind of a decision that was well thought out, but also having a student who's a junior in high school, and she's also in the SLA program. I know it's always kind of been tough for her, particularly back when you used to have to cram in so much education in the first semester. And then, of course, the testing was in the fall semester, but they changed that so that you could test at the end of the fall semester. And then we move into the spring, and you're not got a lot more education kind of spread out during that period. And so by making that shift, I think it made it a whole lot easier on our students where they could get a much higher quality education, in that fall semester opposed to the spring semester. And also I have a child that plays sports, but there's also a lot of children that are in band and other activities. And her summer ends August 1st because she goes and plays sports. So I think there's a benefit there, with some of the kids, being able to get active in the school a little bit earlier and having more of a summer, as it shifts, getting out earlier in the spring. And then the follow-up thing is I think it's great with the community college and kind of running sort of along that same calendar because again, and one of the pushes I'm going to get, hopefully if I'm elected, is try to start working on more vocational jobs. And, students are going there to get the classes to get college credits, but I'd like to figure out some way where we could get the kids in there where they can start learning some more vocational jobs. It's anybody that's in the construction business, which I am, we need electricians, plumbers, heating and air people. We need schedulers, people learn how to budget, estimators, things of that nature. So I'd like to, kind of work with the board, and hopefully in the next, 10 months or so, we can start thinking about some of those things as well. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Our public comment. Now on to the consent agenda.
I move its approval. I'll second that.
Okay, so we've got a motion by Dennis, a second by Clark. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Y'all don't have to leave. Where's everybody going?
It looks like Miss Allison Dees is up next. Tell us about our great vocational stuff and our.
Yes, ma'am, you know it.
They've got us covered.
It is February, which means it is National CTE Month. So I am here to celebrate CTE Month, and I have a lot of CTE teachers have joined us this evening. I always invite them to come out to see what things we are doing, that they don't already know most about all of these, because they are a huge part of it. So I'd like to start with CTE Month. Each school does their own kind of thing because we celebrate CTE Month and its benefits for our students. The mission of CTE is to employ all students into successful residents, workers, and leaders in our global economy. So we celebrate the faculty at the schools. We are promoting the CTE programs within the high school and the middle schools, and even down in our fifth grades. We have the huge CTE Expo coming up February 14th. Every eighth grader in the county will be bused to the Civic Center. It is a partnership with Carteret Community College, where they can then receive their course guide. They go around, they have their own designated time, they go around and see the CTE programs that we offer, and also alongside the partner, Carteret Community College, what they offer. So they can kind of see a seamless 9-14 momentum. We also have, spring is a huge competition month or semester. You have DECA getting ready to go. That'll be the first group that goes off to state competition, FBLA, Skills USA. FFA is the later part. They don't go to state competition until June. In school year 22-23, this was just released from the state board last week. We had 1,789 obtained career credentials. You know that industry credentials provide students with evidence of skill attainment that is relevant to the careers and continuing education. Our CTE is a major contributor to Carteret County's supply of skilled workers. Businesses and industries normally consider external credentialing a reliable predictor of success for entry-level employment. Students have a documented skill set, are more marketable in the employment arena, and are better prepared to succeed in post-secondary environment. And as you can see, CCPS CTE students obtained over 1,700 industry-recognized credentials such as ServSafe, OSHA, and that's just a few. We kind of listed a scattering of them. We'd like to thank our supporters. We have over 85 different business and community members that have partnered with Carteret County Public Schools CTE to provide internships and career support to students in CTE. So this is just 2 slides that list mainly our supporters. We have some upcoming events, and these are just a few. We have Health Science Day, Spa Services, Transportation, the Expo. Steer Your Career is our 5th grade initiative where we will be out at the Kmart parking lot with our more of a vehicle fair for our 5th graders. And again, every 5th grader is bused to the Kmart parking lot to have a day of hands-on activities. And then we also have a middle school IT and Fine Arts Day. All of these, health science, transportation, spa, those are all with our partner at Carteret Community College. Our summer opportunities, some of the many CTE summer programs consist of the Premier Cash Camp, District C, and summer internship opportunities. Cash Camp provides rising 6th through 8th graders this opportunity to experience hands-on learning in a fun environment. District C is new for us. It will be a teamship is reimagined internship experience that prepares students for modern work. Teams of students solve real problems for real businesses, all with the support of an expert coach. So that'll be a 2-week initiative. And then our internships. So our CAPE partnerships, the Careers and Partnerships in Education, we call it CAPE, program represents an innovative and collaborative initiative to foster the growth of CTE. Internships and raise awareness of employment opportunities within our community. The program is designed to bridge the gap between education and industry by establishing partnerships that benefit students and local businesses. The CAPE program empowers students, strengthens the local workforce, and contributes to the community overall prosperity. Since we started CAPE, we've had more than 23 students complete the internship through our CAPE partners. Currently in the spring, we have 18 in various occupations ranging from marketing, auto technician, electrical, HVAC, et cetera. We have signed on for this spring the interview process, Beaufort Hotels, Parker Boats, and Beaufort Wine and Food. And just yesterday, I met with Beaufort Rentals as well to talk about joining the CAPE partnership. And lastly, I'd just like to thank you for supporting CTE. It is Happy CTE Month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Happy, happy.
Be happy.
Mr. Paler, going to give us an update on Hibbs Road reassignment for elementary students.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Right now, all the students living on Hibbs Road and all of its side roads are assigned to attend Beausound Elementary School. And then when they get to 6th grade, all of their peers go to Broad Creek Middle School while they come back and go to Newport Middle School. Some background information, our classes at Beausound Elementary School there are several classes that are at or above the state requirement. At Newport Elementary School, they have smaller class sizes that are below the state requirement. So if we redistrict and send those students that live on Hibbs Road and its side roads to Newport Elementary School, that would also create continuity in their pathway of West Carteret High School. It would reduce the class size at Beausound Elementary School and make them within state requirement. And then lastly, the point I would like to make is that if this reassignment were to create a hardship for a family that's already began classes at Beausound, we do have a board policy 4150 that would provide those families an opportunity to request to stay at Beausound, and that would be considered on a case-by-case basis. And so I'm asking, requesting that you consider redistricting so that elementary age students that live on Hibbs Road and its side roads would now be assigned to Newport Elementary School starting in the 24-25 school year.
Madam Chairman, I move to approve the Hibbs Road reassignment for elementary students as presented by our superintendent.
I will second that.
So a motion by Mr. Goodwin, a second by Ms. Mall. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Thank you.
It's like Mr. Probst is up next.
Happy, happy.
Good evening, board. I was laughing because I don't think I ever get a happy HR month. I don't know if it's sure not possible for policy. So I'm going to be brief tonight because the only thing before you is second read policies. Again, these policies come from your usual School Board Association update packets. This one in particular came from the fall 2023 packet. It's revisions that reflect state board policy, changes in federal and state legislation, and some judicial created precedent. There was no changes since the last read. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, Madam Chairman, I move to approve the policies for second read as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Jenkins and a second by Mr. Day. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'll do the next one too.
Yes. Mr. Paylor. He has the, okay.
So 6.2.
2, yes, Mr. Paylor.
Okay, I'm going to read a proclamation by the Carteret County Public Schools Board of Education declaring February 13th as Young Waterfowlers Day. Whereas the Corsound region of Carteret County has for centuries been a haven for migratory waterfowl, and whereas the cultural history of Down East Carteret County has embraced this natural resource with its own waterfowling traditions, evolving from waterfowling hunting as a subsistence to market hunting to the grand days of guiding and carving for the great hunt clubs of Core Banks. And whereas these traditions have evolved over the generations to become part of today's heritage of families down east. And whereas on February 13th, 2022, fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters from down east celebrated these traditions, the 2022 youth hunt at Mattamuskeet Ventures near Mattamuskeet National Wildlife Refuge. And whereas the lives of these young men and their families reflected the values of carrying on family traditions of waterfowl hunting and conservation. And whereas the weekend turned tragic as 6 Corsound residents were lost in a plane crash offshore Core Banks. And whereas those lost included the young lives of Noah Styrne, Jake Taylor, Daley Shepard, and Cole McInnes, along with the lives of Stephanie Fulcher and Hunter Parks. And whereas the impact of this tragedy touched the lives of people, especially students and teachers from across the nation, but most especially the families and friends and teachers and fellow students of these Down East residents. And whereas the Carteret County Public School Board of Education recognizes and mourns the tremendous loss incurred on February 13th, 2022, and vows to never forget the names nor the faces as part of the Down East community of young waterfowlers and their families. And whereas the students, teachers, and staff of Carteret County Public Schools will always remember the outpouring of love and concern for the families in their schools that continues to this day. And whereas the importance of these traditions remains a treasured legacy of generations of young waterfowlers among Corsound communities. And now, therefore, the Carteret County Public School Board of Education does hereby proclaim February 13th, hereinafter, as Young Waterfowlers Day in the Carteret County Public School System.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve as presented the proclamation for Young Waterfowlers Day.
Second that. Okay, so I've got a motion by Mr. Jenkins, a second by Mr.
Can I speak to it?
Can.
I am 100% in favor of this. Though they were not from Carteret County, I think about the families of the pilot and his son that were also lost, and I'd just like to go on record that our hearts go to their families as well, because they too have lost greatly.
Those in favor of the resolution, raise your right hand. Thank you. So now, looks like we've got another presentation by Mr. Paylor, consider naming Beaufort Middle School Band Room.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. So in accordance with the Carteret County School Board Policy 9300, naming facilities, please consider approval for the band room on the Beaufort Middle School campus to be named in honor of Joe McCreary as the Joseph McCreary Band Room. In accordance with Policy 9300, this act of naming the Beaufort Middle School Band Room the Joseph McCreary Band Room may be considered no less than 12 months from the initial presentation to the board. This request was initially received last February the 7th, 2023, at the Board of Education meeting. Please consider this request for approval.
Madam Chairman, as the former pastor of Joe McCreary, I move to approve the naming Beaufort Middle School Band Room as presented.
Second that. Got a motion by Mr. Goodwin and a second by Ms. Mall. All those in favor? Raise your hand.
Thank you.
Right.
You're still up.
On project updates.
For a bond project update, the Rock Creek Middle School project does remain on schedule. They're using the cafeteria expansion now. It's very nice. Been a great addition to the school. That project remains on schedule. Tonight on the consent agenda, we approved the West Carteret project. That's going to start next week, and that's a very large project, which includes a science wing addition, a band room addition, a locker room expansion and upgrade. There's HVAC and electrical upgrades, so that's just going to be a very nice project, a very major project, and like I said, we will start on that next week. And that's all I have for the bond project. Good evening. I'd like a special thank you to everyone that attended the Foundation's charity event from this past Saturday night, the Sneaker Gala at the Dunes Club. I'd also like to thank all those who worked so diligently behind the scenes to make that happen. It was a very nice event. Just to let you know, we submitted a grant in the fall to the Center for Safer Schools, to the Safety School Grant Program. We were awarded $300,000 for the 2023-24 cycle, which includes over $175,000 for safety equipment and a little over $124,000 for services for students in crisis. Besides February being Career and Technical Education Month, please note that this week is also National School Counseling Week. Next week is National School Bus Driver Appreciation Week, and February 15th is National School Resource Officer Appreciation Day. Please join me in my appreciation this month for our CTE teachers and students, our school counselors, school bus drivers, and our SROs. As a reminder, kindergarten registration for the coming school year starts tomorrow, Wednesday, February 7th, from 1 to 6 at various school locations. Applicants must turn age 5 before August 31st of this year. Pre-K roundup will begin on March the 6th. Parents are encouraged to complete an online application available in the For Parent section of our website and also register for interviews. Along with the resolution read this evening and in memory of the 4 students that we lost in the plane crash on February 13, 2022, we're encouraging everyone to please wear camouflage next Tuesday. While doing so, please remember those 4 students, Noah Styrne, Jake Taylor, Daley Shepard, and Cole McInnes. Please note that next month's Board of Education meeting will be on Wednesday, March the 6th, because our office is used as a polling place on that Tuesday. Also, note that we will begin at 5 p.m. with presentations from the school advisory chairs, and then our regular board meeting will begin at 6 p.m. Mrs. Chair, this concludes my comments.
Comments from board members?
Yeah, I've got a comment. While most everybody left the room, I noticed that we've got some representatives from Young's Physical Therapy here. I just wanted to point out that they have been working diligently with our county athletic director, who has also been working with the athletic directors of each high school, and he's been in touch with Catherine, who has been bird dogging this on a solution for our athletic trainer issue. So thank you all for coming tonight. We recognize it has been an issue, and I appreciate everybody, Catherine, driving this bus to make this come up with a solution. So thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I know those students left, but I've spoken from that side of this room, and it's hard, and they are more well-spoken than I probably ever will be. So much credit for them coming and speaking and advocating for themselves and their students and teachers. That takes incredible courage, and I was blown away.
And we absolutely want to try to find a solution to this problem because it is a problem and we agree wholeheartedly and we will do everything in our power to try to make this work out.
Yeah, I wish they were all here to hear. We don't get to do the comments till the end. I know that Corey will tell them, though, we were all super impressed. They're very well spoken, students and the parents. I've also been on that side. It's not easy. But to hear the students especially say exactly what they think from the heart, you can tell it came from the heart. It's just so impressive. They're gonna use that for the rest of their lives. So please share that with them, Corey, that we were all very impressed.
They're awesome students.
They are.
All of them.
And thank you again to East Carteret Culinary. We had another amazing dinner.
Yes.
So these students cook better than we do too. So
And Croatan and West.
what's it all?
So it was.
We're going to have cake.
Okay.
We're not even done, but the stuff they're making is restaurant quality. It's amazing what's coming out of the high school.
And I want to thank the culinary folks that helped with the gala desserts. They were awesome too, Saturday night. So thank y'all for that. All right, our next board meeting will be Wednesday, March 6th. Because of the office as a polling site, we will begin at 5 with presentations from school advisory chairs, and the regular board meeting will begin at 6.
Make a motion to go into closed session to consider a confidential student matter pursuant to GS 143-318.11A1 and land acquisition GS 143-318.11A5.
Good job, good job. I will.
Second that.
Thank you. Those in favor? All right. Right, now it's motion for adjournment.
So moved. Motion. Go into closed session. We're going anyway.